Yeah.
We hear from anybody else?
Pardon me?
We hear from anybody else?
No, but I just sent the email today. So, I mean, although, pretty much everybody knows it's a third Wednesday, but a lot of times people need reminding, but I almost forgot myself. But
Yep.
plus, I didn't really have any agenda items, and I didn't know if anybody else did. So but I thought I'd put it out there and see what had happened. So
Yeah.
it might be just you and me,
Well, maybe what we'll do is we'll talk a little bit. We'll post this recording and then we can have more of a discussion next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, all right. Should we give people a couple minutes?
Yes.
Get here.
Right. You saw that Mike and George won't be joining us today.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I know at earlier meetings, folks had different things events that they might want to do this summer. And I didn't know if they will join us and talk about those things or not. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe for the next meeting, we'll try and get an agenda up right away and get people to pique people to see if they want to join the agenda with items. So.
Right. Yeah, I had kind of a stressful spring, so and then I finally got going on my garden, and so that just, taken up a lot of my time recently. And but it's doing pretty well, but of course it's taking a lot of water.
Oh yeah, right.
I'm going to have quite the water bill this summer if I want to keep the garden going. Right?
Are you doing much mulching?
I do mulch. Right? I am mulching. So hopefully that will help. Yes.
It does a lot.
Yeah.
And I have a giant rain barrel container, but I don't have the gutters up yet. So
I see.
Setting up 20 buckets underneath the drip line of my house, and then I pour them into the bucket.
Oh, really? Oh,
So
okay. Well, that's
so much work.
Yeah, that sounds like it. You're ambitious. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I just have the one fairly small rain barrel, but once you empty it, it's not too much going into it right now.
I know I'm probably using 50 gallons every week, more than that for sure. So.
Yeah, well, I have a soaker hose on one side of my garden, and I turned out some of my soaker hoses need repair. So can't use them. And on the rest of the garden, I just have to get out there with the hose, and it's pretty labor intensive. Yeah. But my tomatoes are coming along really great. My peas are coming along really great. My kale, my the cucumbers. What else?
I got a big batch of onions this year.
Batch of what?
Onions.
Me too. Yeah, I planted a lot of onions.
But they take a lot of water, actually.
Do they?
Yeah, they don't like
dry.
They don't like dry. They water every week.
Well, I've been watering like every other day. I'm putting tons of water on them, and yeah.
Yeah.
Then I got all my perennials plants that need water too. And
Yeah.
my raspberries are not going to produce unless they have a fair amount of water. And yeah, and my service berry, but I tell you, my water bill is going to be astronomical. But yeah, I'm so excited at the beginning of the season. By the end of the season, I said, get me out of here. I don't want to look at this garden anymore.
Yeah. All right, well, it's 6 after. Let's talk about our stuff, and then we'll go from there. So
Right.
the
Well,
first thing I'll do,
go ahead.
talk about Chard Your Yard, where we ended up. I don't know if that got talked about last month, but
Oh, it did. Yeah, it did. We really covered that fairly well last month.
good. Well, on the financial side, we actually made money this year. So
Really?
we're plus $350.
Really?
That was after not only selling a bunch of soil with a small amount of profit for that, but then earmarking a bunch of money for low-income beds. So we gave out 3 low-income beds this year that we paid for out of the program, rather than from Longfellow Community Council. So we served Longfellow neighborhoods and non-Longfellow neighborhoods, and we were able to offer low-income raised beds all across that. So that was really a big success. And we made money, so we could have actually had more low-income beds available or potentially available for people. We just didn't get as many signups as we thought. So that was a good thing. So, but as for our group, we have our funds, but we don't have a treasurer right now because Audrey Boyle is done as the treasurer. So,
Right.
So some questions to answer is, do we want to continue and hold those funds and get a working board and treasurer, or do we want to maybe fold under another group? And so my intentions with Chard Your Yard is to run that next year, but to expand it not only from Longfellow, but to any neighborhood that wants to do it. So through the website, we'll be able to sign up other neighborhoods, and they'd have their own program, their own committee that would run their program, their own drop site, their own build site. So it's really, we're gonna try and take it on the road next year and like
Really?
go citywide. Yeah.
You're kidding. Isn't that a little bit of ambition? I mean, all under the umbrella of Transition Longfellow?
I don't think so. I think, well,
Just
That's
to
kind
kind
of
of
the
encourage
question.
other neighborhoods to do their own program.
yeah.
So it's a teaching thing.
So we could help them by providing the website access, by providing a group buy option for lumber that all the groups would buy together. And also with the soil, that we might be able to get a contractor rate with the mulch store. And then those groups would all benefit from that. And it would be easy to get a small group of volunteers together in a neighborhood, and they would have less work to do to be able to replicate the program in their neighborhood. So yeah, so my plan is to kind of get the website rebuilt and ready for that sort of an operation by the fall, early fall, September or October, and then start going to neighborhood groups and try and get neighborhood groups to get a committee together to sign up and do that.
Wow.
And by probably January, we'd have a list of neighborhoods that would be part of the program, and that would roll out from January until May. So,
Wow. That's,
so if that's the case, maybe we want to have a bigger organization take over the transition funds and to do that. I talked to Leslie McKenzie today about that, and I wondered if Transition Twin Cities would be a good candidate for that, but she doesn't have a nonprofit and she doesn't have a board. So she has some fiscal agency she gets from MN 350. And so that might be an organization we could use to be our fiscal agent for this bigger program. She also mentioned that we might go and look at the neighborhood associations, because they can provide some things about liability coverage through the city for our activities. So there's some things to explore with that. And as we push this forward, we want to try and see what our options are and see what direction we'd like to go with that. So.
wow. Well, I didn't know you were thinking along those lines, but that's great. That's great that you're really wanting to expand to this, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully
it's,
neighborhoods who really want to get on board and
we've got such a proven program. We've got such good success with it that I think if we can put some shine on it, we can really expand this farther and keep doing what we're doing in Longfellow, but do it in other neighborhoods too. So that's the big report, that we kind of doubled in size this year, and now we're gonna really go after it. Kind of push it. So
that's terrific. That's terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific news. Yeah.
So I think one other observation I had about it was maybe the scale of a project should just be Longfellow, those 4 neighborhoods, and that we should maybe only do 24 beds, right? What kind of the original size of our program, but a smaller area, and then right next door in Longfellow or in Standish Erickson, Corcoran, that neighborhood, they could have their own program, right? So we'd have transition, we'd have Longfellow, Chard Your Yard, then we'd have a different program, different Dropbox in, or different soil spot and build night in Standish Erickson, right? And then another one maybe in Powderhorn Park or East Phillips, right? Or Northside. I have a friend, Jim Lovestar in Northside, that he would, I'm hoping that he's going to run with this and make it happen up there. So,
well, good.
Yeah.
Oh, exciting. Yeah.
So,
great. Yeah.
So, so what I'll do is I'm going to gather some more information, and let's put together an agenda for the next meeting, and we'll get word out maybe a little bit earlier about that, and get people on the agenda to present ideas. We're still going to work on the rain garden ideas, if that can go somewhere, and then
rain garden, right?
take it from there. So
yes, well, expanding Chard Your Yard, and then also to get something with rain gardens going, I think that's a lot. That's to do with a small number of people we've had, at least.
Yeah. Although for our Chard Your Yard events, we had a lot of volunteers. Really
right, exactly. I mean, I'm talking about the planning.
Yep.
Planning, yeah.
Right. So
whatever there is of that. Right. So yes, I think that's great. That would probably be enough for us to deal with in the next, other than a little event here and there, that people would want to do,
Yep.
I know someone was talking about maybe having a garden tour of Chard Your Yard folks, you know, but I can't remember who brought that up.
Yep, that was Elizabeth, and she talked to me about it the other day, and she's planning to do that in July.
Oh, she is?
She was gonna pick a date, and we're thinking about having two parts of it, a walking tour and a biking tour.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
Yeah, we had our kind of retrospective meeting about Chard Your Yard, and she had specific plans about pushing that bike tour together.
Great, great. Yes,
Chard
it's
Your
good
Yard.
to get that on the details together and get that on the website.
Yep.
And on the Facebook, just so that
People can plan.
get it on their calendar, you know, in advance. I would come to that, and I would also, you could include, I'm a past Chard Your Yard recipient, and I would like to be included on that.
Nice, nice. That would be great. Your Chard garden is looking good.
It is looking good.
Yeah, good. All right.
Yeah. I would love to show it off a bit. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's our things then. So I will get some more information, and I will be on the agenda with the next steps for handling the funds for the transition group. We'll reach out to the rain garden people and see if they can present for next month, and then we'll.
What do you mean present?
You know, just give us an update about what they're thinking about, if they have something to. We'll ask them if they have something to put on the agenda and then present.
You're talking about Chard Your Yard?
No, the rain barrel.
Oh,
project.
the rain garden.
The rain garden project.
Rain garden people. Oh, I see. Okay.
I'll be on the agenda. We'll see if we can get the rain garden people on the agenda, and then we'll get Elizabeth on with her.
Right. Well, it depends on what the date of the tour, the garden tour, because, you know, our meetings are the third Wednesday, and if it's, you know, that's kind of late to talk about the tour if it's going to be in July.
Yeah. No, she's gonna have to do some action before that, but.
Right. Yeah. So if she could, I mean, does she have other people working with her on that?
You know what? I'll reach out to her and remind her to get that out in public.
Because, you know, I could really help with that.
Okay. You want to reach out to her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will. And then we can, because the marketing of it, or getting people lined up who
Yep.
want to present their gardens, you know, and get it marketed early enough so that we can get enough people who would want to, you know, get people on get it on their calendar.
Yeah.
Otherwise otherwise we won't have enough people it'll just be the people who have the gardens, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe that will be enough. I don't know. But it would be
She wants
nice
to do it in July when the gardens are still looking good.
Right. Right. And to get the word out, yeah. A good amount of time in advance about it.
All right. Well, you reach out to Elizabeth, and let's get our agenda. Let's in the next week we'll get our agenda posted on the next meeting, and
Okay.
you know what we're talking about. Send out a reminder about the next meeting.
George and Mike on the last month's thing, they talked about, you know, if there are enough people who would want to or feel like they feel okay to meet in person next time, if
Yep.
people would feel okay about meeting in person, or if we want to continue with Zoom. You know, that's something we need to talk about, or we'd have to find a a spot to meet if we were going to meet in person, or I guess we'd have to have a consensus about whether we want to meet in person or whether Zoom is preferable
Yeah.
at this point in time.
Plus, we can meet outside yet in July, so.
Right, if it isn't too hot.
Yeah.
I looked in advance, it looks like in the next week or two, we're going to get back into the 70s. Yay! or the high of, low 80s. That'd be
Nice.
nice. But yeah, we could meet outside in a park,
Yep.
But we'd have to have a consensus about that. And
Okay.
The summertime is typically a time when people don't want to meet as much, but
Yeah.
I could maybe send out an email to the folks that we currently have in our plan to see what their feeling is about next month meeting in person as opposed to Zoom.
You know what? Let's do this. Let's plan to send the email next Wednesday,
Okay,
announcing that we want to do a meeting outside and have people reply if they're comfortable with that. And we can make a decision the next Wednesday. That would give us 2 weeks before the meeting. How does that sound?
3 weeks. Well, what is a month? It's a month before the next meeting.
But next week we'd send out the email.
Right.
And the week after we would send out the confirmation if we're going to meet outside or not.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want me to type up some notes for the meeting?
This is recorded.
Okay.
So if anybody wants, to know what we talked about, they can just replay this. You can make up your own notes,
Okay.
up to you, but the purpose of recording is so we didn't have to, no one had to take minutes.
Yeah. All right.
But I
might just whip up some notes to send out with our notice for next week. So let's plan on sending a notice.
Oh, I see. To send with the notice. Okay. All right. Very good. That'd be
Okay.
good. So then, but I'm supposed to send the email next Wednesday. So then you'll send me your notes before
Yep.
that?
Yep.
Okay.
And you're going to get on Elizabeth about her date for the bike ride.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah. If there's no other business,
Let's get outside and enjoy our summer, huh?
adjourn. Well, tonight is too hot for me to be. I have a west-facing yard, and with too much concrete in my backyard, and it's just like a sauna back there at this time of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thanks, Wilbur.
All right.
See you next time. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye.